dear student, so today we are going to learn a new name reaction, that is Peterson olefination reaction. Now this Peterson olefination reaction, it is also known as a Silla-Witting reaction. Okay, you just have to remember this thing. This is also known as Silla-Witting reaction. Now let us start with its principle, how it is produced a olefin. Suppose if you are having this type of carbonyl compound R1 C11O R2, when it is reacted with the silyl derivative, that is silicon R3 molecule, here we are having a H, here we are having a R3 molecule. When it is reacted with in acidic condition or basic condition, it will produce this type of intermediate, that is OH, R2 and R1. Here we are having a silicon, that is SiR3, here we are having a H, here we are having a R3 group. Now in the presence of acid or base, it will produce a olefin. Here we are having a H, here R3 molecule, here R1 and R2. Now how it is produced a H and R3 molecule, that is olefin derivative. Now let us understand by its mechanism. So let's start its mechanism. Now suppose if you are having a R1 C double bond O R2 over here. Now when it is reacted with the silicon derivative, which is having a carbanion charge, now this negative charge will attach towards the positive charge of the carbonyl group. It will falls over here, so it will produce a one intermediate like this. Here we are having a oxygen minus charge. Here I put R1 from the back side, R2 on the front side. Here we are having a SiR3 group. The H group will be the back side and R3 will be the front side. Okay, so now here we are having a Witting type of we can say the intermediate. Now this oxygen will make a bond towards the silicon, because silicon it is a more electropositive. So now here we are having a oxygen that will make a bond towards the silicon. Silicon accept the electron, that is why it is having a negative charge over here. Here we are having this type of intermediate which is having a hydrogen from the back side, R3 on the front side. Here we are having a R1 from the back side and R2, that is from the front side. Now here the elimination will be taking place. So this negative charge, it is not stable, so it will make a bond over here, it will make a bond over here, so this will act as a living part. So we are getting this type of intermediate when the olefin will be created. So by that way you can create a olefin in the basic medium. This is the reaction mechanism for the basic mechanism. So this type of reactions can be also be carried out to form a olefination by using acid. So now let us understand by the acid derivative how we can produce a olefin by the help of the acid. Okay, so let's start with the acidic condition. Suppose if we are having this type of molecule, now when it is reacted with the acidic condition, here we are having a H plus that accept by the oxygen, so it will produce a OH2. Okay, now oxygen which is having a positive charge over here, the other things will remain as it is. So R1, R2 over here, here we are having a R3, here we are having a H, here we are having a SiR3 molecule. Now this SiR3 molecule, when it is reacted with the water molecule, suppose in presence of water molecule OH2, now as we know that the silicon it is electropositive molecule, so it will abstract the proton from it will accept the electron from here, so it will falls over here. Now this OH2, that is H2O molecule, will be eliminated from this thing. So this type of reaction, it is known as E2 anti-elimination reaction. Why it is anti-elimination reaction? Because this SiR3 molecule and OH2 both are having the opposite charge, but here we are having a the product as we have got from the acidic condition, that is the olefin over here. So R1 C double bond C R3 and H. Here we have to remember one thing, that in basic condition the Peterson olefination reaction will follows the syn elimination, whereas in acidic condition it will produce a anti-elimination reaction. So by that way you can do the application part in basic and acidic condition. You have to remember that basic, that is syn, and acidic, that is the anti. You just have to remember this word AA, acidic means anti. By that way you can follow by basic condition. Now let us understand by its application. Okay, now let us understand this very much important application of the Peterson-Oliphant reaction. This is the beautiful example of the Peterson-Oliphant reaction where you can find a syn elimination as well as the anti-elimination reaction. Okay, now for the syn and anti-elimination reaction, you just have to remember one thing, that wherever you are finding a silicon derivative in its alpha position, if you are finding a OH molecule, then you have to just think about the Peterson-Oliphant reaction. Now in a further, I have told you that in acidic condition, okay, in acidic condition it will produce a anti-elimination reaction, whereas in basic condition it will produce a syn elimination product. Now let us think about the base and acid. Here we are having a acid molecule, okay, so it will produce a anti-elimination product. Here we are having KHMDS, that is known as potassium hexamethyl disilyl, potassium hexadimethylsilyl azide compound. Okay, so that is a base, potassium hexadimethylsilyl azide. Now the base condition, here we are finding a BN. BN is just nothing, that is our benzyl group. This is this type of benzyl group, that is OCH2BN, that is benzyl group. Now here we are finding that in the base it will produce a syn product. So here we are having a dotted line, here also we are having a dotted line. This dotted line will be removed over here, we can produce a olefin over here. So let us understand by its mechanism. So here we are getting a double bond over here, both are having a back plane. Suppose this is the back side of the silicon derivative, this is also back side, it will produce a syn elimination reaction. So this bond will be broken down. Here we are having a double bond over here, whatever the other group, that will remain as it is. Here we are having a dark line, this is a OBN group, this is the OBN group. Okay, so this is our product. Now if the examiner asks one more question regarding this type of molecule, that if it is reacted with the sodium in presence of the ammonia, what will be the product? Now when it is reacted with the sodium and the, what we can say, the NH3, it will cut down this bond, that is OCH2 bond, and it will produce OH over here. So whatever the BN group over here, we can remove that and we can produce a H molecule over here. So here we are having a OH group over here, here we are having a OH, here we are also having a OH group. So this is our product. So by the base you can produce a syn elimination product. This is the very much important reaction, you just have to remember this thing. Okay, now let us understand by the acidic condition. Now here this is the silicon, here we are having in ND position we are having a OH group. So we can understand that in the presence of the acidic molecule, this OH group and silicon both are having ND position, it will produce a double bond over here. So here we are getting this type of double bond, whatever the other groups, it will remain as it is. Here we are having a OBN group, here also we are having a OBN group, here we are having a OH group over here, here also we are having a OH group. Now when it is reacted with the another mole of, what we can say, the sodium as well as the presence of the NH3, so this BN group will be converted into the OH group and we are getting this type of product, that is OH group over here, OH group over here, OH group over here, OH group over here, here also OH group over here. So this is our product. So by that way you can carry out this type of reaction in presence of acidic and basic condition. You just have to remember this type of reaction will be carried out in acidic condition. It will always follow anti-elimination. In basic condition it will produce a syn elimination product. One more thing you have to remember, that whether you are finding a silicon molecule in your compound, in its alpha position, if you are finding a OH group, you just have to apply the Peterson-Oliphant reaction. Okay, now let's start with the another reaction. It is a similar way in the presence of the acidic and basic as we have seen in Peterson-Oliphant reaction. Slight difference is there in Julia-Oliphant reaction. So let us start with its principle. Okay, so in Julia-Oliphant reaction, if we are having this type of molecule, let's say RCH2SO2. Here we are having a aromatic ring. Now in presence of the N-butyl lithium in R-CHO and acetic anhydride, it will produce this type of intermediate, that is SO2AR group. Okay, now here also we are having this type of OAC. The stereochemistry I will not mention over here. So in the presence of NaHG, that is sodium amalgam, in presence of the methanol, it will produce a E-alkene. So you have to remember this thing, that Julia alephination reaction, it will always produce a E-alkene. Okay, it will always produce a E-alkene. Now let us understand by its mechanism how it is produced a E-alkene. So let's start with the RCH2 SO2R group over here. Okay, now here we are having a active methylene group. When it is reacted with the butyl lithium, that is our base, it will abstract one proton from here. So now here we are having a R, that is negative charge over here, and SO2AR group over here. Now this negative charge will attack towards the ketonic positive charge. This is positive because of the mesomeric effect. So now this negative charge will make a bond over here. So here we are getting this type of intermediate. Say suppose if you are having a R group over here, here SO2AR group over here, here we are also having oxygen minus charge, here we are having a R dash. Now when it is reacted with the another mole of the acetic anhydride, now here I am drawing a molecule, that is acetic anhydride. Okay, now this acetic anhydride, this negative charge will falls over here, this will make a bond over here. So what we are getting here, we are getting a R, that is SO2AR group over here. Here also we are getting a R dash. Now this is oxygen that will make a bond over here. So we are writing over here like this. See this CH3 group over here. Here we are getting a oxygen minus over here. So now this is oxygen, this will having a double bond and CH3 group. Now this oxygen will make a bond over here and this will be the leaving group. So now what will be the product? So now let us understand by its mechanism. Okay, now here we are having a R group over here. Let me adjust one thing. Okay, so now here we are having a RSO2AR group over here. Here we are having OAC group. This is the R dash group over here. Now in the last step we are reacting with the sodium in presence of the Hg, that is known as SET mechanism. Now this SET mechanism, it is known as single electron transfer. So it will also produce by the removal of the SO2AR group over here, this will remove and it will produce a free radical over there. So it will produce a free radical over there. Here we are having R dash, here we are getting ROAC. Okay, now in the next step we are also reacting with the another mole of NaHG in the presence of the SET mechanism, that is a single electron transfer reaction. Now another free radical will react over here, so it will produce a negative charge over here. Here we are having a R dash, here we are having a OAC group. So now this negative charge will make a bond over here, this will remove as a leaving group and we are producing a R. Okay, and here we are having R dash. Both are having a opposite direction, that is why it is known as E-alkene. Okay, so you have to remember that in suppose Peterson olefination reaction. Okay, in Peterson olefination reaction you can produce a cis or trans, but in the Julia olefination reaction you will always follow the E-alkene. In Peterson olefination reaction we are reacting with the silicon derivative. In Julia olefination reaction we are reacting with the sulfur derivative. Okay, by the similar way you can produce a olefin. Okay, now let's see its mechanism, or we can say the various type of application in Julia olefination reaction. Suppose if we are having this type of molecule, now we are reacting with the sodium amalgam in presence of the methanol is a solvent. So these are having a OCOPH and phenyl SO2 molecule. So it will produce a E olefin over here. So by that way you can produce a E olefin over here, whatever the other charge will be remain as it is. Okay, so now in the second example, suppose if you are having this type of molecule, when it is reacted with the butyl lithium in presence of the phenyl CHO, it will produce a one intermediate like this SO2 pH will react with the phenyl CHO and it will produce this type of intermediate, that is SO2 pH over here. Okay, when we are not knowing the stereochemistry of the SO2 pH as well as the OAC, we can write down this way. So that is the phenyl group over here. Now when it is another mole of the sodium amalgam, when it is reacted with this type of molecule, this SO2 pH mole and this OAC will be removed as a leaving group and we are getting a E olefin. Okay, so this is our application part in the Julia olefination reaction. Okay, so now let us start one more reaction, that is Wittig reaction. So before jump into the Wittig reaction, you should know the what is ylide. Now ylides are the compound which are having a positive and negative charge adjacent to each other. Suppose when we are talking about the ylide, there are generally we are having a p ylide, nitrogen ylide or sulfur ylide. Now the electron negative element, suppose if you are having a carbon that is having a negative charge and phosphorus, nitrogen and sulfur which is having a positive charge. So that type of structure it is known as ylide. Generally in Wittig reaction we are following a two type of ylide. First one that is a stabilized ylide and second one that is the non-stabilized ylide. Now what do you mean by the stabilized ylide and what do you mean by the non-stabilized ylide? So generally when we are having a phosphorus, when it is having adjacent, there is no electron withdrawing group, so that is known as stabilized ylide. It means when we are having electron donating group adjacent to the phosphorus, so it will produce a stabilized ylide and it will converted this group into the Z alkene. Okay, so now when we are having a non-stabilized ylide, whatever the group we are having a positive charge over here phosphorus, when we are having this type of compound COOCHO, now this is the electron withdrawing group, so now it will produce a E alkene. As we know that cis and trans, okay, that is E and Z, cis that means Z and trans means that E. Okay, so it means that so non-stabilized ylide will produce a trans product, that is a trans alkene, and stabilized ylide will produce a cis alkene. Okay, so now let us understand by this its mechanism. Okay, now let's start how to prepare a ylide. Suppose if we are having a triphenyl phosphine group over here, when it is reacted with the primary halide compound, suppose RCH2X, it will undergo the SN2 reaction. This lone pair of electron will attack towards this CH2 by, because this is having a negative effect. It is having a positive charge, this is a negative charge. This lone pair of electron will attack over here. So now which is we are having this type of intermediate, that is R, CH and H, P positive charge and PH3. Now when it is reacted with the base, it will abstract one proton over here. So now this is our ylide molecule. Okay, so now in this case we can take a base group like butyl lithium NH2 minus or lithium group this type LiHMDS X, that is IBrCl. You have to remember that Rx should be primary or secondary. Okay, now let us understand by the Z selective Wittig reaction as well as the E selective Wittig reaction. Suppose if we are having this type of reaction like R dash, here we are having a negative charge, here we are having a P positive PH3. Now when it is reacted with the RCOOH group, okay, that is the aldehyde molecule, now it will produce this type of intermediate. So now here we are having a PH3, this is having a positive charge, oxygen. Here we are having a this type of intermediate, here we are having a R2 group over here, R1 group over here. So now this oxygen which is having a lone pair of electron, this will make a bond over here, this will this is having a negative charge over here, so now this will make a bond over here and this will make a bond over here. So here we are having this type of molecule, this is R1 and R2. Here we are having a hydrogen, here also we are having a hydrogen. Okay, so now this is a intermediate we can call as oxofetin, that is intermediate of the Wittig reaction. Okay, so now this will make a bond over here, this will make a bond over here. Here we can remove this PPH3, okay, double bond O. This is our leaving part. Okay, so now this type of intermediate we can produce by this reaction. Okay, so this is our cis product by using that is our stabilized halide. Why it is stabilized halide? Because it does not have an electron withdrawing group adjacent to the phosphine group. So let us take one more example, that is non-stabilized halide. Here we are having a non-stabilized halide like this, P positive PH3. Here we are having a CHO group. When it is reacted with the benzaldehyde, it will produce this type of intermediate. Now it will undergo, suppose this bond will migrate over here, so it will produce a phosphine oxide, that is PPH3. Okay, PH3. And here we are having a double bond over here, so this is known as E-alkene. Okay, so by that way you can remember that one thing, that is stabilized halide and non-stabilized halide. So stabilized halide will produce a Z-alkene and non-stabilized halide will produce a E-alkene. So that is the summary of the Wittig reaction. Okay, so this is a very much important comparison of Wittig, Peterson and Julia-Olifination reaction. So now in Wittig reaction we have seen that we are using a P halide molecule. Now when we are having a P halide in stabilized halide, it will produce a Z alkene. When we are having a non-stabilized halide, it will produce a E alkene. Now in Peterson reaction you have to remember that if we are having a silicon compound or silicon derivative adjacent to its alpha position, if we are having a OH group, it will produce a alkene. Okay, so you have to remember these two terms, that is in acidic condition it will produce a anti-elimination, in basic condition it will produce a syn elimination reaction. Now it is very much important for the Julia-Olifination reaction, that is S derivative, and it will produce a E alkene. Thank you for watching it.